What's up, guys? Hope you're all having a great day. Today I just wanted to take some time to rant about one of my personal favorite video game franchises and the state it's currently in, and that is, of course, Halo. Now, if you're anything like me, you've been a Halo fan since the very early days. Halo 2 was actually the very first video game I ever played. My brother showed it to me when I was like 5 years old, and I've basically been hooked on it ever since. And to this day, it's still my favorite shooter franchise, and in my opinion, one of the best sci-fi worlds that you can get lost in, despite all of the damage that 343 and Microsoft have done to the franchise over the years. Now, Halo is an IP that has been insanely mismanaged since 2010 when Bungie and Microsoft went their separate ways. 343 Industries and by extension Microsoft don't seem to understand what people love about the franchise to begin with and how to evolve that going forward. And next year marks the 25th anniversary of the Halo franchise, and where there should be excitement in the fanbase and within the studio, all reports seem to indicate that things are just as bad as they always have been, at least for the past decade of the franchise. Now, it's no secret that almost every game released under 3's leadership has ranged from divisive to just outright bad. I mean, their reputation has become so bad that they've had to completely rebrand the studio in an attempt to distance themselves from their past work, which I think tells you all you need to know about what to expect going forward. Now, you would think having more than 10 years of fan feedback, you'd start to get an idea of how to make a good Halo game that people actually want to play, but if recent reports are to be believed, then that couldn't be further from the truth. Every single game developed over at 343 Halo Studios has gone through development hell. From the Master Chief Collection to Halo Infinite, there's always something that seems to go wrong and leads to them delivering a subpar product at launch, and according to rumors coming out of the studio, that seems to be the case for the next Halo game as well. I don't know, I guess Halo fans are just cursed, man. But yeah, recent reports following the Microsoft layoffs indicate that the atmosphere over at Halo Studios is extremely tense right now, and was even before the layoffs, and that the developer is working on multiple Halo projects in Unreal Engine 5 as they work to end support for Halo Infinite. Which, I just want to go on a bit of a side tangent here. I think it's completely pathetic that Microsoft and Xbox pitched Halo Infinite as a 10-year plan for Halo, and in reality we got like 1 year of good content updates, and even that was just things that were supposed to be there at launch. So I don't know what the 10-year plan for this game looks like, but clearly it did not have enough content for Microsoft to want to continue investing in it. But anyway, back to the current situation, and it's heavily suggested that one of these troubled Halo projects that is currently in development is the Halo Combat Evolved remake coming out next year. Rumors say that this has gone through significant development struggles and that nobody at the studio is really happy about the quality of the product right now, which is always a great sign when the people working on something are coming out and saying that it's complete trash. One of the reasons cited for the development struggles is Microsoft's continued reliance on contractors. Now, it seems like they've switched from individual contractors to contracting entire studios to work on the game, which sounds in theory like it would be a much smarter move and lead to more efficient work overall, but this report seems to indicate that that apparently hasn't had much of a positive impact on development really at all. Now, personally, I just can't understand why Microsoft refuses to have an in-house Halo development team that's like really strong for their flagship franchise that isn't heavily reliant on outsourcing work. I know that outsourcing is an extremely common practice in this industry, and in some cases it's necessary, and I don't think outsourcing is inherently bad. You can see with examples like Expedition 33, for example, that it can provide a significant boost to development, but that requires that the project is being handled well internally first, and for a franchise as big as Halo, I don't think outsourcing should be the norm. And another report about the supposed Combat Evolved remake is that it won't feature a multiplayer mode of any kind and will just be strictly the campaign, which to me only really makes sense if they have another game with multiplayer in the works, and this rumor did indicate that there are multiple projects being worked on, so that's probably the case here. So I imagine they just don't want to cannibalize the player base, but I think it's extremely telling of the talent over at Halo Studios that even for a game like a Combat Evolved remake, a game that came out 25 years ago, is giving them development trouble. Like, half of the work on the game is already done for you. Your only job is to figure out how to modernize the experience and make it worth replaying. You're not creating a new Halo game from scratch, you're remaking what was already done. Like, what could be so impossibly difficult about that? Are we just going to end up getting another another disappointing Halo game again for like the 5th time in a row now. I genuinely don't understand it. At this point, if Halo Studios can't even deliver a remake of the most basic 2-decade-old game, I think it's time to hand the IP over to another studio. I don't know, let id Software take a crack at Halo. I mean, they can't possibly do any worse than 343 or Halo Studios has at this point. And on top of this, it seems like whatever the next mainline Halo game we get is going to be another reboot of the franchise in some way, because they are wrapping up Halo Infinite's story, which ended on a massive cliffhanger, in a book again. And if you're familiar with 3's Halo stories, this shouldn't be much of a surprise to you, but it doesn't make it any less disappointing. Every single game since Halo 4 has been a reboot of the narrative and the gameplay, only to drop the story and finish it in a comic or a book so that the next game could then try and reboot it again, and it just seems like we're continuing that cycle. And I just don't understand why they can't just make a good Halo game. I really don't think it's as difficult as they're making it out to be, especially if they're going back to the old games and just trying to remake them. Like, if that is so impossible, then maybe you're just not cut out for game development at this point. And when this next Halo game is revealed, likely sometime next year, it will have been 5 years since Halo Infinite released. You mean to tell me that you can't figure out how to do a Combat Evolved remake of just the campaign in 5 years? If that's the case, then genuinely, what is the point of having a studio dedicated to Halo if you can't even figure out how to make a Halo game? Like, clearly nobody over there knows what they're doing, and they need to either shift to another project or just be shut down entirely. I don't know, maybe someone who works at Halo Studios can enlighten me, because at this point I think it's genuinely baffling that after working on the franchise for over a decade, which is pretty much longer than Bungie had it at this point, they still have no idea what the hell they're doing over there. I don't know, man. It's just incredibly depressing to me to see one of my favorite franchises of all time in gaming reach this state of desperation. And it really just feels like there's no hope left in the Halo fan base. I don't know about you guys, but I honestly couldn't really be any less excited for a new Halo game until I see what it looks like. And I just don't know if we'll ever see anything remotely close to the original trilogy in this franchise. And if we do, I don't think it's going to be anytime soon or from Halo Studios, especially if these reports are to be believed. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this video, guys. There's only so much negativity and gloom that I can handle in a day, and I think with Xbox's recent decisions, I'm getting very close to my limit here, especially when it comes to Halo. But what are your thoughts on the current state of the Halo franchise? Are you excited about future games and the potential Combat Evolved remake, or do you think that the glory days of Halo are long gone? Be sure to let me know down in the comments below, and of course, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like or a dislike if you didn't. I appreciate your feedback either way. And if you want to see more content from me, be sure to subscribe. I have a few slightly more positive videos in the works that I'm excited to share soon. And with all of that said, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.